Australia is in the grips of a housing affordability crisis. For years, prices have soared, leaving many Australians struggling to enter the property market. The dream of owning a home feels increasingly out of reach for many, particularly young people. Frustration is mounting as wages stagnate while housing costs skyrocket. This issue has become a major concern for Australians across the country. The government has faced immense pressure to implement policies that address this growing problem. The Australian government has announced a significant policy shift aimed at tackling this issue head-on. Starting April 1, 2025, foreign investors will be banned from purchasing existing residential properties. This 2-year ban is a bold move designed to ease the pressure on the housing market and provide more opportunities for Australian citizens and permanent residents. The ban has sparked intense debate, with proponents arguing it will offer much-needed relief to struggling Australians. Critics, however, question its effectiveness and potential impact on the broader economy. This policy comes at a time when housing dissatisfaction has reached an all-time high. Australians are feeling the pinch of rising interest rates and the increasing difficulty of securing a home loan. The lack of affordable housing options is particularly acute in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne, where competition for properties is fierce. The government acknowledges the severity of the situation and has pledged to prioritise housing affordability as a key policy area. The government's decision to implement this ban reflects the growing public sentiment that urgent action is needed. It remains to be seen how effective this measure will be in the long term. However, it signals a clear commitment from the government to address a critical issue affecting the lives of countless Australians. The coming months and years will reveal the true impact of this policy on the Australian housing market. The newly introduced ban on foreign buyers focuses specifically on existing residential properties. This means that foreign investors will no longer be able to purchase houses or apartments already on the market. However, they will still be permitted to invest in new developments, a move designed to encourage continued construction and supply growth. This distinction is intended to stimulate the economy while prioritizing housing options for Australian residents. This ban, set to be in effect for 2 years initially, will last until March 31, 2027. During this period, the government plans to closely monitor its effects on the housing market. A comprehensive review will be undertaken to assess the ban's impact on housing affordability and supply. Based on the findings of this review, the government will then decide whether to extend the ban beyond the initial 2-year period or to make further adjustments to the policy. While the ban targets foreign investors broadly, there is one notable exemption: individuals granted residency through the Pacific Visa Scheme. This exemption highlights the Australian government's commitment to supporting its Pacific neighbours and recognising their unique circumstances. The Pacific Visa Scheme allows citizens of eligible Pacific Island countries to live, work and study in Australia, and this exemption ensures they retain the opportunity to purchase existing homes. The government is investing significant resources to ensure the ban's effective implementation and enforcement. The Australian Taxation Office, or ATO, will receive $1.4 million annually to oversee compliance and investigate potential breaches of the ban. Further funding has been allocated to the ATO and Treasury for auditing and combating land banking by foreign investors. These measures demonstrate the government's serious approach to making the ban work as intended. The primary objective of this policy is to increase the availability of housing for Australian citizens and permanent residents. By restricting foreign investment in existing properties, the government aims to ease the competition faced by local buyers in the market. This, in theory, should lead to a greater selection of homes being accessible to Australians and potentially contribute to a slowdown in price growth. The government projects that this ban will free up approximately 1,800 existing homes per year. These homes, previously potentially purchased by foreign investors, will now be available exclusively to Australian buyers. While this number represents a small fraction of the overall housing market, it is viewed as a positive step towards easing supply constraints, particularly in areas with high demand. The ban is just one element of a broader government strategy aimed at tackling the housing affordability crisis. Recognizing the multifaceted nature of the problem, the government has introduced several other measures alongside the ban. These include a shared equity scheme designed to assist first-time home buyers, tax incentives for developers to encourage the construction of affordable housing, and an ambitious target of building 1.2 million new homes by 2030. The success of this ban and the broader housing strategy hinges on their ability to deliver tangible results for everyday Australians. While the projected increase in available homes is a positive sign, it remains to be seen whether this will translate into more manageable housing costs for those struggling to enter the market. The government faces the challenge of managing expectations while demonstrating a commitment to addressing the root causes of the housing affordability crisis. The timing of this policy announcement, just months before a federal election, highlights the political significance of the housing affordability issue. With housing dissatisfaction at an all-time high, it has become a central focus in the lead-up to the election. The incumbent Labor government is acutely aware of the need to demonstrate its commitment to addressing this concern, which has become a top priority for voters. Interestingly, the Labor government had previously criticised similar proposals put forward by the opposition coalition when they were in government. A poll conducted in January 2024 indicated that 69% of voters supported the coalition's approach, suggesting a degree of public appetite for such measures. This shift in stance by the Labor government underscores the significant public pressure to tackle the housing affordability crisis, irrespective of political affiliations. The effectiveness of this ban in achieving its objectives is still a subject of much debate. Experts and industry figures have expressed mixed opinions, with some praising the government's proactive approach while others remain skeptical of its potential impact. The Property Council of Australia, for instance, has welcomed the focus on new developments, but stressed the need for a comprehensive strategy that addresses supply constraints across the board. The Australian government's decision to ban foreign buyers from purchasing existing homes is a significant policy intervention in the housing market. While the ban's long-term effects remain uncertain, it reflects a clear intention to prioritise the housing needs of Australian citizens and permanent residents. The coming years will be crucial in determining whether this measure, combined with other government initiatives, can effectively address the housing affordability crisis and provide much-needed relief to struggling Australians.